everyone, welcome back. My name is Oshina. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm gonna be sharing about all of the clean and Christian historical fiction books that I read in 2025, and I'm going to share about all my favorites, and then I will be sharing a few that I didn't like as well. I hope that this video can be a recommendation video for you. I read so many different historical books this year. I'm really dipping my toes into the genre. I used to only like contemporary fiction, but there are definitely a lot of books that I do like that are historical now. So that is exciting because it does open up a whole nother genre of books for me to explore. So I'm excited to continue doing that. But yeah, I'm going to share all of the best ones that I read this year. Some will have Christian faith in them, some will not, but I will let you know about the language and the sexual content if there is any. And let's get into it, you guys. So there's only one non-Christian historical fiction book that I read in 2025, and that is The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. I did finally read this. I know it is kind of a tried and true favorite for so many people, and a lot of people have already read it, but I had never read it because there's no way I was going to dive into a thick historical fiction book. But I was very impressed by this book. I didn't expect it, but I felt like the storytelling was so well done. And she just hooked me with the setup because it is a World War II setting, but you follow two sisters that both have very different experiences during the wartime. Both of their stories were so engaging. I actually cared about both characters. I cared about what they were doing. I didn't find any slow parts in this book. Like, I truly loved this book. However, there is one scene that is quite short, but it's there, and it was very difficult for me to read. It was basically a sexual assault scene, and it was really terrible to read, and it's not extremely graphic, but it's very implied what is happening, and it's not very long, but it was too much for me. So that did knock a star off just because it did like really hurt my enjoyment at that point. But looking back on it now, this feels like a 5-star book and I would still recommend it. Either way, I really enjoyed this book and I'm so glad that I read it, and I definitely want to read more Kristin Hannah because I just loved her storytelling. Her writing style was so good. I did listen to the audiobook for some of this as well, and that was really good too. So I definitely want to read more of her books. I just don't know where to start because she has a pretty big backlist and they all follow very different topics and time periods. So I don't really know what I'm in the mood for next. So if you guys have a top second favorite of her, let me know which one I should start with and which one you think I would like, because it's hard to know. But anyways, I did really like this, and the characters actually are Catholic, and they talk about it a little bit, but it's more so they talk about how it's really hard to hold on to their faith when so many terrible things are happening. So I would not consider this a Christian fiction book, but it's present because I think it's accurate to the time. But yeah, I really did like this, so this is a favorite for sure. So this is also not exactly Christian fiction, but it feels like it is, so I'll just talk about it next. Edenbrooke by Julianne Donaldson. Are you kidding me? I'm already smiling. This book is so cute. If you like romance, like that is what this book is. It really does not adhere to any kind of like strict historical time period or anything like that. Like, it's probably not accurate, anything that like happened in this book in terms of like the historical time period. However, the romance, her dialogue, it was so good. Like, I loved being in her head. Okay, it's Marianne and what's the guy's name? It was so good. Okay, so basically you follow, are they twins? I forget. They're also sisters. You know what? I think I like sisters in historical time periods. Maybe that's a thing. I might be interested in reading more books like that. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. But for this book, you follow this girl who is living her life, and her mom passes away and her dad is very upset. So he leaves her with the grandma. The grandma is like doing her best to raise her and her sister, but it's a struggle just because the grandma's old and whatever. The grandma arranges for Marianne to go to this other like manor to just like have a break basically. So she's on her way. Marianne is on her way to this manor, and their stagecoach gets attacked. And so they have to like find their way to this inn to like survive. And then there's this guy at the inn. and he and Marianne just like have a little interaction. And from that point, I was like, don't even, like, already the tension was there, and the like cute little quirks and interactions, so cute. The banter was so good. That's why I love this book. It continued out through the whole book, and I love this. I love this for sure. Maybe not for everyone, because yeah, it's cheesy, but I loved it. So there you go, another favorite. And for this one, there's no language or content. They just kiss. I don't even remember if they kiss, but they probably do. But it's not like that. It's literally just their interactions and their friendship growing. Okay, you guys, look at this book. Every Hour Until Then by Gabrielle Meyer. So I read quite a few books by her. I read For Lifetime, Across the Ages, Every Hour Until Then, and then hopefully I'll be reading through Each Tomorrow, which is right here. I have a physical copy. So these are now the 2 books by her that I own. What is this? It comes with a sticker! Through Each Tomorrow, Timeless Book 6. So this was sent by the publisher, so thank you to them also. It is signed. So look at me being a little fangirl for this series. I really did not see this coming. But okay, so for Every Hour Until Then, I did get this on Book Outlet, and I don't know if it's still on there, but feel free to check. I have talked about that kind of recently, I think. But you guys, yay, I'm so glad I own this, because this is officially my favorite book in the series. I mean, hopefully Through Each Tomorrow becomes my favorite, but I knew I wanted to own this one because I would reread it. That's how much I really liked this book. It just worked for me, both time periods and the characters and stuff. But I gave Across the Ages 5 stars and Every Hour Until Then 5 stars. Across the Ages was super fun. I definitely would recommend it. But yeah, I read like 3, hopefully 4 books by her this year, and it's all in this series, and I'm like, nice, I actually like this now. So this whole series follows there are certain families of people that are called time crossers because they can time cross between usually 2 different time periods, where they live a day in one time period, go to sleep, and wake up in the other time period, and then go to sleep, wake up back in the other one, and they go back and forth until there's some certain age. It changes a little bit, but between 21 to 25, and have to make their decision which time period they're going to pick. And usually in both time periods, it's following a certain like event in history that is difficult or is making the characters feel, you know, connected to a certain time period. And then there's always love interests as well that are like pulling them towards a certain time period. So I was very skeptical of these books because I was like, I really don't enjoy a dual timeline most of the time. However, things are changing for this series because I now know what I'm getting. I'm willing to go in with an open mind. I do have reading vlogs for the first 3 books, so I'll link those down below. I am losing steam a little bit doing reading vlogs for these books just because we're getting so deep into the series now. I don't feel like it's as relatable for people to be watching. Like, I didn't do one for this book. I feel like if you've gotten to this book, we all love it. We all just like enjoy reading it, and I don't need to do a reading vlog. I don't know. Am I just talking? Who even cares? I'm just saying I really like the series now, and I'm definitely going to follow it until it dies. I think there's going to be 10 books. And book 6 just came out. So yeah, there's 4 more to come. And the next book, the cover is so beautiful. I'm not going to show it here because I'm going to do an anticipated releases video, but the next book, oh, I for sure want to get that book. This series doesn't have any language. It will have some kissing, and the first book actually did have 2 assault scenes. So ever since then, I think she probably heard from her readers that it was a little too much. So she hasn't done anything similar to that since. Like, if there is anything like that in the next books, it's barely talked about. There's no details, and it's just kind of like a, you know, fade to black type situation. So that's that. But yeah, I would recommend these books. They're pretty good, and there's always a really solid faith lesson in them. And I just enjoy them now. So there we go. Okay, next favorite is A Light on the Hill by Connilyn Cossette. This was, I think, my second ever Connilyn Cossette book, and I was very impressed from the very beginning just because the way she wrote it, she made it intense right away. There is a prologue and it's a little bit disturbing just because there is like a branding scene. So basically this girl gets captured in Jericho. It's set kind of in biblical times and she gets branded on her face to become a prostitute, but she ends up getting rescued and that doesn't happen, but she still has the scar on her face. So you're following her just kind of being afraid of society. She covers her face, she wears a covering. She feels like she'll just never get married because of that. She has a lovely father who wants to take care of her and he wants to find her a husband. So he does find someone who is willing to marry her. He has 2 sons. Right before she meets him, she goes to kind of this like dance thing around the campfire kind of thing, and she meets a guy. And right away I'm like, oh, that's the guy she's probably gonna marry. It's so great because they have a connection and stuff happens. But then it turns out the guy that she's betrothed to isn't the guy she met. It's his brother. And things go from there. It's very well done. I really was so connected to the characters right away. I found that the world building was good and the inner monologue, the inner like thoughts of the characters, they just made sense. They felt like I could really understand them. And then she painted the picture so well. It was actually a very exciting plot. There's a bit of a on the run storyline. They go to real places that were in the Bible times, so you can like follow on the map where they're going. It is the romance that stands out to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I just love this book. So I definitely want to read the next books in the series. It's a 4-book companion series. And I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I do recommend that one. So that's like biblical fiction, but if you like romance, definitely recommend it. And then yeah, there's no actual biblical characters that I can remember. So it's just kind of like set in that setting. Okay, a next favorite that is so good, you guys, is Of Love and Treason by Jamie Ogle. This book had a similar writing style and like quality that Francine Rivers has. It really reminded me of her Voice in the Wind trilogy, the Mark of the Lion trilogy. I was so captivated by this book. I thought that there was enough character development that even though there was 3 perspectives in this one, I just found that I connected with all 3, which was really great. The one thing that I could have done without is in between every chapter, I don't remember if it's every chapter, but every once in a while at least, there will be a scene of like a gladiator and them like torturing Christians kind of thing, and so that was upsetting, but that reminded me of Francine Rivers. That's something she would do. So yeah, this book, it follows actually the story of Saint Valentine. I didn't actually fully know that Saint Valentine was a real person, but yeah, don't look up like anything about him before you start this book because it will spoil what happens in this book, and I wasn't spoiled for it, so I was like, what? So yeah, that was good. I'm glad I wasn't spoiled, even though actually part of me wishes I was. But basically you follow the perspective of Valentine and then a father-daughter duo that are not Christians at the beginning, but then they meet Valentine and they become Christians throughout the book. And it was just so well done. I really loved seeing how Valentine like is taking care of Christians and he's going around. The whole story is he will marry people who the government or the Roman Empire will not allow to get married, so he like secretly marries them. But he's also a Christian and he witnesses to this father and daughter, and oh, it was so good. I really was so invested and it was such a quick read, and the ending was really bittersweet. And yeah, I've heard that the rest of her books, so she's got one other book out. She's got one other book out right now, and I think it's a companion to this series or this book because I think it's set in like the same universe kind of thing. So I definitely want to read it. Her writing style was just really, really good. So definitely recommend this one. It was a good one. I've got 2 like almost favorites, honorable mentions. So first one is A Match in the Making by Jen Turano. I happened to have this out from the library because I also got my sister to read this and she really enjoyed it. So we're gonna like do a video together talking about the books that she really liked. So that will be coming eventually. But yeah, for this book, I was really invested. It's kind of like a rom-com, but set in Regency era. You follow this girl who basically feels like she's not going to get married, but she wants to help like matchmake people. So she starts matchmaking people and it works. Like a lot of people are like, hey, you're like good at finding a good pair for me. So she starts like almost kind of a business helping women find their perfect match in a man. And one of the men that she comes across has 3 kids and he definitely needs help. So she really is endeared to his kids. So she starts hanging out. They become friends and she says like, hey, I'll help you find a wife. Like these kids need a mother. So it's just funny because what the kids get into is funny and how their relationship grows is like cute and just kind of silly. And overall, like I have nothing bad to say about this book. It was fun. It was just like very lighthearted. And that's great. But it's like a 4.5 level. I think I did give it 5 stars, but it's more like a 4-star for me right now. So yeah, I still would consider this a favorite though. I still thought it was good and I'd recommend it. And then another honorable mention is, last honorable mention is If the Boot Fits by Witemeyer. This I read in January, I think, because it was my first Patreon buddy read book and it was good. Like it is a Cinderella retelling and I liked it because it was kind of swapped. So the girl is the rich one and then the guy is more like the Cinderella character. And I think just the way that it was told was actually very entertaining. The way that they had to like be kind of thrust together in different situations was really funny. And then there is like quite the twist at the end and a reveal and just like stuff going on that it was like pretty good. I thought it was well done. So it's a solid 4 stars for me and I would recommend it if that sounds good to you. So I'm going to share about the few historical books that I really didn't like this year, just so you can kind of see my taste and like, just because then I don't have to talk about them in a different video. So first up is a Kristin Hannah book of A Defense of Honor by Kristin Hannah. It's Haven Manor book 1. It was just slow and boring and I barely remember anything about it. It's also very forgettable. So that's all I want to say. I truly don't even remember. A Defense of Honor. Oh yeah, okay, it's coming back to me. Okay. It is a really cool concept. Like this girl basically helps women in bad situations and she ends up meeting this guy who they just have some like tension. He's trying to find a missing person and he thinks she knows where the person is and they just like stuff happens from there. And it was like a good concept, but just boring execution for me. So not much to say on this. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to keep this book. Another truly sad one, no pun intended, is Yours Truly Thomas by Rachel Fordham. Some people love this book and I'm so happy to hear that, but for me, it was so boring. It was so slow. Like just barely anything was happening and there is a lot of letters and I'm just like, it was just, I didn't care about anything that was happening and that was quite upsetting. So unfortunately, this is my least favorite Rachel Fordham book and I wouldn't recommend this one. You know, it's fine. I still love her and I'll still read anything she writes, but this was not it for me. A more recent one is The Heart of Bennet Hollow by Joanne something. Bischof? Dewitt? There we go. And yeah, it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling set during like coal mining era times. And I just found the whole story kind of boring as well. Like, again, when it comes to like historical stuff, if the plot is boring and the characters mean nothing to me, why would I like the book? You know, like Edenbrooke's plot was like barely anything there, but I loved the characters. For this one, plot barely there. I mean, okay, there was a plot, obviously, like it's about coal mining. The Bennets are trying to save their land and their coal mine. And there's a Darcy character and I just did not connect with this retelling. I kind of found myself thinking like, why don't I just read Pride and Prejudice? Because it's better. And that's all I have to say. I won't recommend this book in the future. Then I did actually put For a Lifetime by Gabrielle Meyer on this list because I give it 3 stars. For sure my least favorite. I was not connected to either timeline. I didn't really like the characters. Like, because you follow twins in this one, and I didn't actually like either of the twins. Didn't connect with their romances. There was actually one of their romances was pretty great, but the other one didn't care about, and yeah, the time periods didn't care. So I was really slogging through this book. Like, yeah, not a favorite. So that's too bad. But then I'm glad it continued because now I love book 4 and 5. But book 3 was not it for me. Okay, again, another one here. A Lady's Guide to Marvels and Misadventure by Angela Bell. I do not like steampunk, you guys. I don't like steampunk because it doesn't make any sense. There's these like mechanical creature things. I don't even know. There's like this, I don't know. I can't explain it. And then I just found the characters and the romance so cringy. It wasn't believable to me. I thought that the way she treated the guy was just like, what? It just like was too dramatic for me. And then the way the romance developed, I was like, no. And then the overall plot was like not that exciting to read. Like exciting things were happening. It was like a fast-paced plot, but I just didn't care. So that was too bad. Probably won't be keeping this book. I'll quickly throw this one in here. This is not a disappointment. This is a favorite, Anne of Green Gables. And it's kind of like more middle grade, I guess. But I read this in December, first week of December. I have a reading vlog for it and I gave it 4 stars. Really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was so sweet, and there is a lot of Christian faith in this book. So it is historical and there's Christian faith, so it counts for this video. But I forgot to talk about it in my favorites portion. So not a disappointment. We're ending on a high note. I love this book. Definitely recommend it. It is such a cozy, feel-good story. So those are all the historical books that I'm going to talk about today. I really enjoyed. Those are all the historical books that I read in 2025 that I want to share about. There are a few others that maybe had dual timelines or just whatever that you'll see in other videos. But for now, these are my favorites and my not so favorites. I'll write them all down below. I'll also put timestamps that make sense. And I'll link videos down below if I have reading vlogs for any of these books if you want to see more. And please let me know. What have I already asked you stuff? Let me know your favorite historical book. What was the other thing? Oh, Kristin Hannah. Let me know about Kristin Hannah's books. What do you recommend? If you want to give me a favorite and a least favorite, that might be interesting, of like historical fiction that you read in 2025. And thank you for watching, you guys. I'm so excited. I'm going to be binging a bunch of videos today, so I'm gonna like change my outfit, but you're gonna see me in a similar look for a number of videos because I'm here to crank them out, you guys. So let's do it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.